Not.
And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego land. Very empty San Diego landings.
Yeah.
Very full parking lot,
though.
Very empty San Diego landings. But boy, we have a couple of great guests here. Rosie and Jeff Flowers from Cedros Sportfishing. We're going to be talking yellowtail. We're going to be talking calico bass, white sea bass, halibut, lots more. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It's employee pricing, and it's happening now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. That's right, employee pricing across a full lineup for trucks and SUVs. A lineup featuring California's #1 truck brand and Ford F-Series, America's all-time best-selling SUV and Ford Explorer, the iconic Ford Bronco, and more. No automaker employs more hourly workers or assembles more vehicles here in America than Ford Motor Company. And that's a commitment your San Diego County Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing to you. It's only for a limited time. Exclusions apply. Hurry to your local San Diego County Ford dealer today.
This is Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star. In 1983, a group of intrepid anglers envisioned crafting the best sunglasses on the water. It's true now as it was then. Costa's performance frames excel in the toughest of elements. These styles are packed with functional features that create a competitive advantage for any adventure on the water. From the lake to offshore, Costa's Performance Collection has a legacy of helping anglers stay on the water longer. Learn more at costadelmar.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Today is one of my favorite days on the show, not only because it's Jeff and Rosie, which are always super fun, but we get to talk about one of my most favorite places to go fishing in the whole world, and that's on Cedros Island with Cedros Sportfishing. Today is going to be a fun day, dude.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff and Rosie.
Hey, guys.
Good
morning.
Good
morning.
See ya. Great to have you. And Rosie, you were just saying, hey, I'm starting my fish reports back up. So next Saturday, this Saturday, is kind of the kickoff.
It's the
season
kickoff.
opener.
Yeah.
And next Saturday at around 8:05, right after Mark Wish, you're going to be calling in your report.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Absolutely.
That's every week. Of course, 8:05, only heard on the Let's Talk Hookup app.
That's right.
And YouTube and Facebook Live.
So next Saturday we get to hear, well, guys, we did it again. There was limits limits of yellowtail for all of our guys, and as soon as they were too tired from pulling on yellowtail, we decided to go calico bass fishing, and they caught those until they were just done with that, and then they had great halibut, and somebody got a 50-pound white sea bass.
Yeah.
So we get to hear that.
So you
week
literally,
after week
you
after
literally
week.
just gave my report today. But I would have added limits by 7:35.
Okay, there you go.
So
That's the fish report.
While I'm thinking of it, I was just thinking, you catch a lot of big calicos down there, a lot of big yellows.
Yeah.
Make sure you join the CCA Star Tournament before you go down.
Oh, yeah.
Big
Because
time.
you're eligible.
Oh, my God, big
you
time.
are eligible 2 fish a day to send in and have perhaps win a Parker boat in the Yamaha outboard.
Oh, my God.
Hey,
I'm signing up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You would likely get it's two fish per category per day, or is it just 2
category?
entries? I believe so. We should clarify.
Yeah.
But you're either guaranteed 2 entries per day, and if it's 2 per category, you're virtually guaranteed 4 entries a day.
So make sure
we'll
you
get clarification to find out.
Yeah.
But I think it might be 2 entries per species per day.
Oh wow.
But we'll find out.
So
I don't want to say that. No doubt your yellows are going to be over.
Yeah, your calicos.
Yeah, no doubt your calicos and your yellows are going to be over the mark.
Yeah.
And then who knows? Maybe
because It's a land of big fish.
Oh,
It really is. And it's like even the white sea bass that was caught yesterday. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't like the one that you brought into the shop that day where you laid it out and it was really long. This one was a little bit shorter, but man, it was fat.
Lives at Cedros, man.
It is just a big fish.
He lives
It
at the
was
grocery
like,
store.
wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
first trips down last week, how were they?
You know what? They were really good. We had a little bit of wind, and they said, the bike kind of went off in the wind hours, but they said as soon as the wind stopped and died down a little bit, that it was like game on. And we had a new group down there that had never been down before. And they usually go to the East Cape and fish over there. And they were very surprised at, first of all, the service at Cedros Sportfishing. They said, on the other side, they have to schlep their coolers down there and their tackle down there. And, they got out of the dining room in the morning having their breakfast and everything was gone. And they got into a van and showed up and their stuff was in the pongas and away they went. They said that was just new to them. That was just something that they weren't expecting.
So
That
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's
So-
the thing about it is you have arranged it to make it so turnkey.
Yeah.
Everything from
Yeah.
start to finish, from
we try.
getting on
Yeah.
the plane down at CBX to arriving in Cedros on that private charter.
Yes.
And then getting to the lodge and getting down to the boats and the
Yeah.
food.
And even the in
everything.
between what you're mentioning, like you land and you're just welcomed with open. Let's go backwards.
Family.
Like,
Yeah.
it starts at CBX, but as soon as you get to CBX, there's somebody that's literally, the concierge service that you have like holding your
Yes.
hand through there. Because there's always intrepidation about people who have never been before using CBX. Like, it's an international airport. I don't speak Spanish. You always hear the fears. There's literally a member from Rosie's team that literally escorts you through the airport.
Yeah.
It's just, and then when you land, there's a van with, you don't dare touch your bags. They carry all of your bags from the plane to the van and you're welcome with a drink. It's just crazy.
Wow.
And it works out so easily. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. It's like start to finish, you're taken care of. And at the CBX, Pete, you were the one that said that we needed to go through there. And that's when we started looking into it.
Because it
And-
used to, in the old days when Rick and I started going way back when,
Oh, yeah.
you used to have to drive to Ensenada and then sit around and wait till they felt like flying.
Yeah.
Well, or you didn't know if you were going to be the first flight out of Ensenada
Right.
or the second. And if you were the second flight, you had to wait for the plane to fly from Ensenada to Cedros back to Ensenada. I mean,
And
that
you literally didn't
hours.
know.
You didn't know
Yeah,
until
you
we
had-
got down
Yeah,
there.
you had no idea.
And I was like, and then coming back the border.
Yeah.
Is it going to be an
Crossing the
hour
border.
wait? Is it going to be a 4-hour
Yeah,
wait?
right.
You
didn't
either
know.
didn't have time to eat breakfast, or not only do you have time, but you've also got another 4 or 5 hours you need to kill.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? Last year was epic because I don't think I had anyone, the groups coming back across the border. I don't think any group, it was more than 15 minutes from the time I get a picture from Hugo and Michelle going, they're coming your way. And 15 minutes later was the most that I had to wait for anyone to get back across the
Wow.
border. When was the last time
Now, wait a minute. You picked them up at the border?
I mean, at the CBX.
At the CBX?
At the CBX.
You do that? That's part of the service?
Well, I you know what? I'm there holding your hand.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So you drop off and pick up. Okay. So describe it.
Well, I meet you guys at the CBX.
At CBX.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You
Right.
park at CBX or
Yeah.
you take an Uber to CBX. These days, if you're living in San Diego, Uber might be the way to go because they've really raised the rates down at CBX.
They
as
really
far as
have.
parking. Yeah.
They really
So,
have.
and
I'm
maybe that's what
I'm on that drop-off program also.
Yeah.
The drop-off program
Do
is
the
good.
drop-off
Dallas.
thing.
Well,
Yeah,
and let me
too.
just
Yeah,
tell you,
Rosie.
it is what it is. I'm just going to say it out there. I don't know if you know this, Scott, but you can park at Brown Field for $5 a day.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
And then Uber from there. Oh,
That's a
that's a super
that's a nice
insider
little.
tip.
That's a good
Super
hack,
insider.
Rosie.
It's not insider now.
Yeah.
and the Brownfield's happy to take your money.
I'll
Yeah.
bet.
And you
great.
park
$5
there.
a day?
$5 a day.
Oh my gosh.
$5 a day. We have guys come
around.
around to the front of the CBX. They drop their stuff off. They go over
Oh,
there.
that's slick.
And, depending on what's kind of going on, if there's a few in the group,
I mean, how
We'll
long
watch
is that
the
Uber
gear,
drive?
you
Is
go
that
park the car?
like a $5 Uber.
yeah,
drive or
it's
something?
like right across the
nothing.
freeway.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
right there.
slick. Good
Yeah.
tip,
Yeah.
Rosie.
so
That's good.
so
All
there you
right.
go.
So you get to see, you meet everybody at CBX, then what happens?
So meet you at the CBX. I will do all your paperwork for you because I am very OCD and I don't need one little piece of paperwork being wrong. So I don't need you being sent back to me with an incorrect visa or something of the sort. So I have your packets all ready for you. You're going to have your visas, your airline boarding passes, your Mexican fishing license, and your cross-border express. And we take care of that part.
Yeah.
This is an all-inclusive trip, so we take care of that part. Basically, I meet you there. We go through your paperwork. We answer any questions. We kind of go over your Mexican fishing license, what you are able to catch and keep. And then as soon as Hugo and Michelle are ready for you in the Tijuana International Airport, they literally send a text and say, send them. And away you go, and they're on the other side of the bridge waiting for you. So you're basically going about 400 feet without someone holding your hand. But I always tell everyone, look, it's like bumper cars. When we were kids, we go to the fairgrounds. You could get into the ride. You could bounce off the walls. You could bounce off of each other, but you can't get out till the ride's over. Same thing here. Basically, Hugo and Michelle meet you on the other side. They guide you the rest of the way. You're not schlepping your stuff through the airport. We got it all dialed in. If there's 12 anglers going, we almost 100% of the time can get everything on 4 to 6 carts. If you're behind a cart pushing tackle, or your backpacks and stuff, you're not carrying rods. If you're carrying rods, you're not pushing a cart. But once you get to the other side, you're going to take your carry-on, if you have a carry-on, and Hugo and Michelle take care of it from there.
They load the plane, everything's good.
Everything.
You don't need to put your rods in a rod tube.
No rod tubes. We're trying to, not only save on weight, but those rod tubes are very bulky.
Yeah.
You just put sleeves on them, or some people just
like
take.
They sell those sleeves. You guys sell those sleeves.
Yeah.
Call those stick jackets. They call them. Yeah, super
Skip
lightweight.
jack. There you go. Yeah. A little something to protect the tip. Maybe if you want to put a little, bubble wrap around the top, tape it on, a little bubble wrap around your guides, or the skipjack sleeves. Is that what they call it?
Stick jacket.
Stick jacket. Yeah. There you go. I learned something new today. So yeah, but easy enough. Once you guys get into the airport, just go have a margarita.
I brag about the Rosie stuff so much too. Like we even you do even more than that. And the one thing that I love is, so what you mentioned it, when you arrive at the airport, you get handed a packet that Rosie gives you, and it's got everything's already filled out. Your license is filled out, your visa's filled out. She's done everything. But before that, pre your trip, you get the Rosie, Rosie letter of like, hey man, you're probably packing and you probably have questions. These are all the questions that other people have had to help you pack. Like, you're just so, having never done it before, you prepare everybody so much. So like, even if you've never done it, you're already have a sense of like, okay, this is what it's going to be like. This is what's here. I already knew to pack because Rosie gave me all the tips for packing, and this is what people like. Everybody always asks about gratuity. Your opinion of what other people have thought for gratuities in there, because nobody wants to ask, and nobody wants to tell somebody you should tip this, but you just do such a good job.
Yeah, tipping's
you really
a very personal thing.
Preparing everybody.
Yeah, tipping is a very personal thing. So I always say, look, this is what I do, and it's just a guideline. You need to do what's comfortable for you.
So what do you bring? When you're going on a trip to Cedros Sportfishing, what do you bring? What
do
you bring?
Not much.
You better talk.
Not much.
I bring my favorite alcohol.
Yeah, and that he does. He does.
Actually, I take 3 rods.
Now you can buy beer on the island.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Absolutely.
And there's some great
there is some hard alcohol.
There really is. I was surprised one time I went into the one little store there, and they had like Grey Goose vodka.
Yeah.
And what was the other? They had Absolute vodka.
Yeah.
But if you're an alcohol snob and you like your certain bourbon or whiskey or whatever, you're more than welcome to bring it. Because my gig is always saying, it's like, I have all the faith and confidence in you that, you can bring this and you're going to drink it up while you're down there and not bring it back. And that's the weight that you replace with the fish weight.
And the cool thing is, you replace with the fish weight on the way home.
Yeah.
So, alcohol. Now, do you usually equal your fish weight with alcohol?
More fish comes back than alcohol.
Okay.
I had to think about that one for a second.
Quick calculation. Yeah, I'm good.
So back to your question.
Besides, so what kind of tackle, clothing, etc. do you?
Great question. I take a jig stick. I take a inshore bass type rod for fishing calicos in the kelp, and then I take an all-purpose rod, which I can use for fishing halibut. I can use it if we wanted to troll, if I want to use it with live bait, if we're doing that. So
Yo-yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so
what would that all-purpose outfit be?
The all-purpose outfit. It's I can't remember the number.
It's
we
your
took a picture of it.
CalStar
But it's
700.
I was going to say like
Yeah.
a 7 foot 40 to
Yes.
60 pound
Yes,
type rod.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
either
exactly what
like
it
a
is.
Calico 12 or
That's what
a,
I have.
Perfect.
Or, yeah,
If
Calico
Rosie's
12.
putting
It's
pictures.
so funny, Rosie. I was literally going to spit out the words. I do a 700H CalStar Graphiter. Before
Okay.
the words came out of my mouth, Rosie shows me a picture of Jeff's rod. It was a 700H CalStar Graphiter.
Yeah,
And
it's a great
7 foot-
all-around rod.
And you called that all purpose. You could
Yeah.
you could troll, you could fish a dropper loop, you could fish a yo-yo jig, you could fish a heavy sinker if you wanted for a sea bass or a grouper or a halibut. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And there you go. You said a Calico 12. There's
Yeah.
the 12. We got the Tranks 500 and the
Tranks
Tranks
500 for your
400.
jig stick.
Tranks 500. I am a fan.
And then what do you use for your Calico rod?
The Calico rod is a 400.
400
Tranks.
Tranks.
Okay.
And
400. Perfect.
and set up as Corey
you're
has
set.
recommended. Yeah.
Bring some
And-
plastic, bring some surface iron, bring a few hooks, a few weights.
Yep.
And what you don't bring, you have, if
Yep.
you lose it, you have a tackle store.
Our tackle store, I have to say, I'm actually pretty impressed with our tackle store. It's, you try to go down with the minimum.
Yeah.
Because you try to save the weight.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
go
want
down
more fish bringing home.
Absolutely. And so, we've gotten pretty good down there. We've got all types of surface irons, some yo-yos, line, we got hooks, we got weights. So if you lose something, you'll be able to replace it. And not only that, but you're going to be able to replace it at a very reasonable price. I've had people go down there and said, I'm surprised that, this is just what I pay for the same thing in San Diego. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, you're not using it necessarily as a source of mega profit. You're
No.
using it to service your customers.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keep
Because
it
you
fun.
could. I mean, let's be real. You're down there.
Yeah,
if
you're
somebody
on an
needed it,
island.
You could
Yeah.
pick whatever price you wanted, but
Yeah.
that's not what you're after.
No, it's totally not what we're after. We
That's
need
cool.
you to have a good fishing experience. And
Yeah.
so,
And the other thing too, don't bring much clothes, couple changes of clothes because they do their laundry every day.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Great question. I used to be the guy to take everything for the full week.
Yeah.
And then I realized, why am I doing this? So now with the laundry service that Rosie has and set up on the island, you can wear the clothes on your back and take an extra shirt, maybe two,
Yeah.
an extra pair of shorts, and your toiletries, your toothbrush and hairbrush and
Sunscreen.
yeah, make sure you bring your sunscreen, and that's all you need to bring
Yeah.
because there's pillows, there's blankets, there's towels, everything is provided at the lodge, and it's all very comfortable stuff. So when I started paring back from going on a week-long trip to Mexico, like I'm camping,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
and I'm going to be fishing with I have no idea what. Now after being down there, and Rosie and I were talking about this the other night, she's been doing this for almost 10 years and going down there 2 to 3 times a year. It's taken somebody like me that takes a long time to learn something on what I don't need to take.
Yeah.
right.
And when we did this the other night to say, okay, here's really the basics. And I was surprised.
You could legit put everything in a backpack. And I'm talking your clothes for the week and your tackle could all fit into a backpack because you
Easily.
take care of everything.
Easily.
Yeah.
I have 2 customers and I call them, I said, you're my poster boy for what to take down.
Mhm.
And this last week, Robert shows up and he literally has 3 fishing rods. He has a little, like a husky tool bag,
Mhm.
husky
The
tool
little
bag.
black and red ones.
Yeah. And a backpack. And I
That's
said, you stand right there and you can take a picture of you. You are my poster boy.
And how much weight was it?
Oh my gosh. It was 24 or 25 pounds. Total weight.
That was rods, reels, lures, jigs,
Everything.
clothing, everything.
But
Yeah.
you're allowed 55, right?
You're allowed 56.
56 pounds.
56
but that
pounds.
includes your fish on the way home. So
That
you gotta
includes
take
your
that
fish on
into
the way
account.
home.
Yeah.
So if
So-
you get dialed in, so here's my Robert
Wow.
with his one
Funny.
little backpack.
That's
You know
great.
what I mean? And it's like
You're set.
But you
he's set.
you said it like that's what your weight target is, and you
Yes.
should you should go as light as you can because there's no reason not to. But if you're a diehard person that wants to bring more gear and bring less fish, well, that's your call too.
Yeah.
And absolutely. And it's like, one thing that Jeff and I were talking about just the other night, after we kind of really went into the garage and really weighed things out
Yeah.
of tackle, it's like Jeff's like pulling things out. Hey, I don't need this and I don't need this. But you know what? You might want to bring an extra rod. We weighed rods individually. Most rods are less than 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're
Mhm.
good taking another rod and you come back with 2 bags of less fish,
Yeah.
and that's worth it to you, then by all means,
that's your
go
choice.
ahead. That's your
The stuff
choice.
that weighs is like the irons, the
Yes.
lures, the
Yeah.
sinkers
for
Yeah.
grouper
that kind
fishing.
of thing.
Yeah.
But here's the other thought too: if you want to bring more fish back, just leave that stuff down there.
Absolutely.
For the next guy to use.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I just, while we were going
Pay
through
it
the
forward.
garage, we found a whole bunch of weights and sinkers, and I'm just going to send them to the island.
I would bet that going forward, the amount of sinkers that are probably going to be there just for that exact reason. You went down with a handful of torpedo sinkers. Well, I want to bring more fish home. I'm just going to leave. I'll just leave these with the lodge. You know, every group starts doing that. It's going to get to a point where you're just not even going to need to bring sinkers.
Well, and the other thing that we've talked about, and we're not on this yet, we're just like floating ideas out there, is having tackle boxes ready and prepared for you to use. Everything that you need to use at Cedros, you get this tackle box. If you lose something out of it, you pay for it.
That's cool too.
And then we just replace it and
Great
get it ready
idea.
for the next
That's
guy.
a great
Well,
idea.
as you can hear, we have a great show lineup there. The place at Cedros to go. Cedros
it is.
Sport.
I was going to say this conversation is exactly why. Cedros is no hidden gem anymore, and there's lots of people, and there's now several operations. There is only one that does this. That is like that has been spending.
The hand takes you and
Exactly.
says,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to bring attention to new adornment, new art pieces.
It is amazing.
I want to thank Todd from TB Metal Arts for this beautiful award piece that he did for us, and we put it up on the world headquarters. So if you're watching us in YouTube and Facebook Live, thanks Todd for that.
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
beautiful.
It's silver and gold, and it's
It is
kind of a cool
stunning.
piece.
You have that locked in so nobody can walk away with that.
It's heavy, man. It took 2 big hangers to do it.
Oh, I bet. That's beautiful.
Well, as you can hear, we've got a fantastic show today. So much fun having Jeff and Rosie in here and talking about the fantastic Cedros Sport Fishing operation. Today is going to be a great day. And if you want to join us, man, we want to hear from you. Give us a call this morning at 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973 is how you reach us on the phones, and phones are already getting packed up this morning. Also, you can send us a text. If you want to text the show, that's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. So popular, I've already seen a bunch of texts come digging through while we got started this morning. But if you want to get your shot, it's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app, which if you don't have it already, you should download it. It's free. There's no BS. It's just the easiest way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. You can hear all of the archive shows. If you caught a really fun one in the past, you want to hear one of those, that's the way you do it. And also, it's the only way to send in your text questions to Rosie and Jeff. When you do, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number is all we need, because if you win today's big prize, we want to make sure to get it to you. And man, what a cool prize does Pete have going here. One lucky caller or texter is going to win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses. This one is called the White Tip Pros. It's a matte black frame, and it's got that top of the line blue mirror Costa 580 glass.
Wow.
Those are a
Those
really
are
nice
nice.
pair of
Those are
shades.
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
they're really nice.
I really like too. They've got those are like vented both on the sides
Right.
and on the nose piece. So when it's hot out, like your glasses don't fog up. They're
There's a little hole if you want to put a little keeper on
yeah.
there.
That's
Oh,
just
that's
that's just a killer pair of shades from Costa. Somebody is getting hooked up with a very, very nice pair of glasses. Again, if you want to get through, 833-288-0973, or keep those texts rolling in the Let's Talk Hookup app. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls, reading those texts, catch reports, and a whole lot with Rosie and Jeff. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
The fish are biting and it's time to go. Hi, this is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or maybe in front of the shop on my kayak. It doesn't matter if you are out there on a kayak with me, on your boat, headed out on a sport boat. Dana Landing has everything you need. We call it the one-stop shop for a great day on the water because it truly is. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop, headed by John, is certainly one of the best. For freshwater tackle, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. These guys have the best rods and reels and the hottest lures and live bait. Our newest shop is Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with a great stock of both fresh and saltwater tackle right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson and Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson and Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. What a great time we're already having talking Cedros Sportfishing this morning. I don't know that we've ever had this many text messages come through before the show even started, but Rosie's very popular.
Phones are packed. Kyle's standing by, 833-288-0973. There's a line open there. And before we get started, I have some very, very sad news to report. One of our Let's Talk Hookup family passed away. Deb Varos. She suddenly died Thursday. And she was way too young. It's
Way
like
too
everybody
young.
that knew Deb, she's just like the life of the party.
Totally.
Right? She was just like, of course, Drew, her husband, our condolences go out to Drew and this entire family. Team No Bananas, Manny, Carlos, and Drew. And then, of course, Deb kind of came in and became part of Team No Bananas.
A fixture at every Let's Talk Hookup event that happened in Mexico and Alaska and everywhere else. And you're right, she was the life of the party wherever you were at.
She always kept everybody happy and excited. And I've got to read this great text from Carlos. Carlos sent me this morning. So when Drew and Deb met, I guess Manny, Drew's brother, or Carlos's brother, introduced him. He says, I believe this is how it goes. Manny went fishing with Drew and Deb. When Deb caught a mackerel, and instead of being frightened of handling it, she just grabbed it by the neck and took the hook out. Manny told Drew, she's a keeper. And the rest
She's a keeper. That was it.
That was it.
Right
Oh,
there.
I really
love reading that.
But that's it. She was an incredible angler. They won so many tournaments.
They won
together.
all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
They won the Palmas tournament multiple times.
Love
They
it.
won the Loretto Rumble multiple times. She's just an amazing human being.
Well, and just that spirit. She just had a beautiful spirit
Oh my
about
gosh.
her.
Yeah.
And that's
just she lit up the room.
Yes,
when she walked in.
absolutely.
Yeah, she's
Absolutely.
just one of those people, and just such a tragic loss. And we're gonna really miss her.
Yeah.
Really miss Deb Varos.
Love you,
Definitely.
Drew. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
We're
very
with you, man.
sorry for loss and just way too young.
Yep.
But that's just
Absolutely.
further. Just go fishing.
Go
Yeah.
Go
fish.
have fun. Go enjoy your
Be
life
with your
while
family.
you can.
Be with your
Absolutely.
friends.
Absolutely, for sure. And we're gonna miss you, Deb. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well said.
Yeah.
In the meantime, phones are getting absolutely packed up. Tons of great text messages coming through, and we're having a great time talking Cedros Sport Fishing. And we're going to start it off this morning with the phones, and we're going to talk to Sean, who's calling us from Lomita on line 3. Sean, good morning. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Rosie. And Jeff, you always make us feel relaxed, like you're down there or something. It just has that Baja vibe. You know how it is when you get back from Baja. It takes about 3 days to, get back to the roar of the cities and everything. Anyway, it's and hear all this. Such great. We know you're catching. I was curious if you had any real exotic fish, or a fishing story about something down there. Down there at the island. Do you have anything to share on that, Jeff or Rosie?
We do have some fish that down there that are bucket list fish. And first of all, I'll go to the first one that everyone wants to catch, and that's a white sea bass. Mm-hmm. Everyone says, I'm going down there. I want to catch a white sea bass. And for the most part, we say, you don't find the white sea bass finds you. But you know what? A lot of white sea bass do find us. We are blessed. And a lot of people talk about the stones. Will I get my stones? Yeah, you'll get your white sea bass stones. Don't worry about that. The other thing, and I say this when I am down at the CBX, and I'm talking about your Mexican fishing license. On your Mexican fishing license, it does say that you can catch black sea bass. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we always say, but if you do catch a black sea bass, if that fish is 100, 200, 300 pounds, the bigger ones, they are amazing breed stock for us. And I'm going to be honest with you, they don't taste that great. The big ones, they don't. They're slow to grow.
Small ones.
Well, we'll get on the small ones in a minute. I'm talking about the big ones. Our Ponga captains are very well versed. They call it burping the sea bass. Yeah. They burp that black sea bass and they get it to go down. But if you catch a 20, 30, 40 pounder, mm-hmm. Let me just say, I would keep that guy.
Yes.
Not only would I keep that guy, I would ask the fillet crew to get that collar off it, ask the kitchen crew to broil up the collar or barbecue the collar, depending on what they're doing for dinner that night, because that is absolutely divine. And yes, you can bring that black sea bass home. It is on your Mexican fishing license that you have paid for. Mm-hmm. You can bring that home.
Yep.
So please do. Along with the broomtail grouper, that's on a lot of people's bucket list. You can actually catch broomtail grouper. We got a lot of calico bass down there. And we say the same thing for the calico bass. They're slow to grow. Let them go. If you get that 10, 11 pounder, I think you and Dallas were down there and you got, was it 10 pounds or was it Javier got 11 pounder? Or
we had one trip where Dallas caught a 9 pounder and Javier caught an 11.
11 pounder.
Calico bass.
Yeah.
Calico bass.
It was so funny.
So
You've never seen somebody so bummed out to catch truly the fish of a lifetime.
Yes.
Javier has become a very good friend of ours. We really like him, and he just doesn't fish much. It's not his thing. It's for the passengers, that kind of thing. Yes. And we were like, what are you doing? This is the best fishing we've had in our life. Like forcing a rod in his hand. He made 2 casts and he hooked an 11-pound calico bass. And he was so bummed that in his feeling, he took that fish from his passengers and he sat down. We couldn't have been, we were so happy for him, excited and high-fiving and all that. And it was a really special experience.
Yeah.
Because Cedros is a big bass factory.
Yes.
But fish of that size are just super rare, and it was really cool experience. But yeah, that was Javier's monster.
Yeah, because I think for the longest time I had both of those fish in my brochures, Dallas
really cool.
and Javier, because they are dream fish.
Totally.
They are. So yeah, those are some great fish. The black sea bass, the white sea bass, the broomtail grouper.
Big halibut.
I was just going to say, my next one was halibut. We get some barn doors coming over that I just think, oh my gosh. Those things are so big. I remember Jimmy Hughes telling us when he used to do the ecology trips, it's like, those halibuts are stacked down there like pancakes. Go and get some. And you know what? We do.
I think the coolest fish that you guys have down there is called a greater sand perch. And I had never... I'm pride myself on my fish ID, and I caught a fish that I had no idea what that thing was, and it looks like a mix of everything. It looks like a mix between a calico bass and a sand bass, and it's got a little bit of
a little on the red side.
They're really cool looking. It's just
There's a lot of cool fish.
It's like a mix of everything. And it was one that it stumped me completely. And I had to call Dr. Larry Allen when I got home. And I said, what on earth is this thing? There's nothing that lives in our zone that I'm not that familiar with. And I didn't know at all what that was. And Larry Allen had to give me the lowdown on it. So that's my favorite exotic from Cedros.
I'm looking at the picture. And of the 10 years I've been down there, probably 24 or 5 times. I have never seen this.
Yeah,
fish.
right? Yeah. Nor I. Yeah, same.
Or I'm looking at this in your picture. I'm thinking, wow, to me, I would say, yeah, that looks like a confused calico.
Exactly, right? It looks enough like a calico, but it's not at the same time. I'll put it up on our Instagram so everybody can scope it out. But a cool fish.
So great text here along the same lines about what do you catch? Todd from Oceanside says, when do pelagic show up and can you arrive by a boat?
Okay, so pelagic show up, I would say earliest is end of August. Well, you've caught in August before some yellowfin.
So
mid-August.
Now, pelagics, he's talking about Dorado tuna, you think?
Oh, we have Dorado tuna and Wahoo that show up end of August, September, October, and if we go into November, they are there also.
Now, it's not a guarantee.
Right.
They're fish. They have tails.
Right.
The water moves around. The columns change. But we have had fantastic Dorado fishing in the fall. The month before we shut down, it's a different world. The sun's a little different in the sky. There's a little different feel in it, in the weather, the water clarity. The fish are just lit up. You can see flying fish all over on the lee side. And as soon as you see them coming out of the water, you haul butt over there because they're getting chased.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of fun. And once in a while when the yellowfin show up, it's great because you can troll around and slaughter them that way. It's just another fish opportunity.
Yeah.
The Wahoo was, if I'm not mistaken, 2 seasons where maybe 3
seasons,
where they were
So
able
it
to
can
get
happen.
around the island.
Absolutely.
So it's there.
It's the northern range of Wahoo. You know what I mean? Like you can't set your watch to expecting them to be at their northernmost range, but they absolutely do get in there good.
Yes.
But you also need to, the problem with Wahoo is you need to dedicate time, because the beauty of Cedros is your calico bass, your white sea bass, your yellowtail, your halibut, all of those things are within a 5-minute run of each other.
Right.
Wahoo fishing, you need to be offshore. You need to be in between Bonitos and Cedros. You need to be in that. You've got to dedicate the time to doing it. And how can you do that when the bass fishing is so good? My God.
That's right.
I agree.
And the other thing is you can. Yeah, we get with our pond captains. We also watch the weather because, like you said, most of the actually 99% of the Wahoo is caught between Bonitos and Cedros. So you got to watch the weather. And we also have some commercial fishermen there that will call to our pond captains and say, hey, we see Wahoo.
There you go.
So, but like I said,
Or
it's like
tuna or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, so if that is something that you want to do, you get with me, we get with the pond captains. And if there's a window to do that in, we will do it.
All right, let's jump back in the phones, Rick.
You got it. How about we talk to Mike? He's calling us from Rosemead this morning. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Well, this is Mike, and I'm actually up here in the east corner of Idaho, overlooking a lake about 100 feet. There's some docks in a little cove, and it's just beautiful up here.
Nice.
There's about 8-9 boats and float tubers out here.
Nice.
Midge fishing. Kind of looks like Crawley Lake right now, but man, it's 100% better than that.
Count me in on that one, Mike.
It's great. I know Pete can relate to this, and you were up here a couple of weeks ago. It was great. But my question to you, Rosie, is what's the cutoff as far as you can catch as much fish as you want in a day, probably, and to take home. But when do you say enough is enough, and when do you start releasing all your fish?
A lot of anglers that go down are picky about the fish they do keep. If it's in the morning hours and you got a little 12, 15-pound yellowtail that came up the rail there, let him go. Let him go. Let him eat a little bit more. Let him come back for next year. But you know what? I would say that be picky about the fish you keep. 20, 25. hopefully 30, 40 pounders. Go ahead and keep those guys. Calico bass, we really don't keep too many calico bass. If we do, they swallowed the hook. They weren't going to, survive there. But, and then, the other thing that you can do is when you do, keep the fish that you're wanting to keep, we always keep any legal halibut. We keep any legal white sea bass. Just remember about, the fish that you want to take home. You can keep the best pieces, the shoulder pieces, the upper loin pieces, maybe the tail sections you want to leave at the lodge for, ceviche for an appetizer the next day. But just be mindful about what you want to keep because, there's so much to catch down there. Catch and release is a good thing. We have guys that are catching 400 calico bass in a day. And obviously you're not going to keep all of those. You got people that are catching 50 yellowtail in a day. Just keep the ones that suit you best.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Now, speaking of fish, it's time to talk about the best place to go catch fish, and that's Point Loma Seafoods.
Oh,
right
yes,
next
there
to the
you
San
go.
Diego Landings in Point
Absolutely.
Loma. I was in there the other day. They have such an array of beautiful fish. They have black sea bass on occasion, which I whenever I see the fresh black sea bass, it's like that's because they don't get smaller ones, which is the best. White sea bass, they have fresh yellowtail, fresh tuna, fresh Alaskan halibut. Occasionally they get the fresh Alaskan salmon. It comes in and out, but
last time I was there, they had that baqueta.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So good. That Baja grouper, man, that was good.
So if you're looking for a great place to go for lunch or dinner, to take home, Point Loma Seafoods. But then you talk about lunch or dinner, just having
Now you're speaking
the
our
San
language.
Diego view of the bay. I mean, there's so many favorites on there.
And we probably eat there once a week at the tackle store. And I would say the favorites for us seem to bend between their fish tacos, which are just the bomb.
Fish tacos are the
They're
best.
so good. Fish or shrimp tacos. Maybe the shrimp taco might even beat it out for us at the tackle store. That's like an A number one.
Yeah.
So good.
Making you hungry, Jeff?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to eat lunch
Yeah.
before we get
And then,
home.
of course, they have a fantastic sushi chef, too.
Yeah.
So you want the best sushi? Check it out. Point Loma Seafoods, right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your great phone calls and texts. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup with Jeff and Rosie of Cedros Sportfishing. We're on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everything about Katmai Lodge is first rate, and it should be on the bucket list of everyone who enjoys fishing. This is Brandon Bono. My visit to Katmai Lodge is an experience I will never forget. Constructed on the banks of the Alagnak River in Katmai National Park, the lodge is a fishing dream come true. The experience is incomparable. Whether bait casting, spin, or fly fishing, you'll find king, sockeye, chum, coho, and pink salmon, plus trout, grayling, char, and dolly varden. Their guides are amazing. Days are exciting and fun with hot lunches and snacks served on the river. The brown bears, bald eagles, beaver, otters, and other wildlife you see is amazing. The lodge staff is great. There's complimentary wine, beer, and appetizers before a fantastic dinner every evening. Take it from me, a trip to Katmai Lodge should be on your list. For information, visit katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326. Once again, that's Katmai Lodge, KATMAI.com.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportfishing.com.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com. Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home with an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs. Your bait swims harder and longer, and when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fun with Rosie and Jeff, and boy, good fishing and Cedros Sportfishing. This has got me so fired up to go back down to my island, man. I love it.
And you have a great text.
I thought so. Yeah, this was a fun one. It came from Sean in Chula Vista. It says, I'm going to Cedros in July and then again in October with the Mission Bell Mafia group. We always book through Rosie. Rosie makes this process so easy. I have been with other outfits, and they require you to do a bunch of extra documents beforehand that can be challenging to find and to fill out. Rosie does literally all of that for you. I want to give the biggest shout out to Rosie and also a shout out to Reggie from Camarillo for organizing these great trips. Yep. If it wasn't for Rosie and Reggie, I would not have made this trip ever. It is the best fishing trip. Thank you so much.
And we love Sean. That poor guy gets picked on relentlessly when they're down there. They you know, when you have a group of friends that all go down, all 12 of you, you're all buddies, you know, you go back and forth and boy, they take his boots. He's got like white boots and they put him underneath the chairs and they pick on. We love Sean. Sean's a good guy.
Sean, you deserve that.
Reggie's relentless.
Yeah, Reggie is relentless. Yes, he is.
Yeah. You know, I just a really quick thing. We were probably 3 years ago, we were at our old house and Rosie says, hey, there's a guy named Reggie with the Mission Bell Mafia coming to the house. And it was like, wait a minute, I grew up on the Mission Bell. I worked on that boat. There's things about that boat I will never discuss. I'm glad it's been refitted a few times. But Reggie, what a guy.
Well, wait.
He's on the phone. He's waiting.
There you go. Good timing. What's up, Reggie?
Yo, good morning, guys.
Good morning, sweetheart.
We heard you talk. You heard us
I
talking
guess
about
perfect timing, man. I guess we couldn't have planned this any perfectly here, man.
That's funny.
Totally stoked right now, man. Our trip is actually leaving tomorrow morning, so I'm up here packing, getting ready. And Rosie, don't be easy on Sean. Sean deserves and more.
Those white boots.
Yeah, I mean, we call him Bootsy. That's his nickname. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and leave it at that. But Ricky, I'm still a little bit upset at you, man. I mean, many years ago, you convinced me to do this. Now I have freaking direct deposit going into paying Cedros Sportfishing going 3 times a season, man. Oh my gosh.
But it makes life so much easier.
I just want to talk.
Yeah.
That conversation a lot of years ago has cost poor Reggie a lot of dough.
Oh, he's going 3 times this year.
That's awesome, buddy.
Yeah, but I just want to talk about just the growth I've seen the lodge, you know, just over the years. Like the Starlink, game changer. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I am a diehard 49er fan. So I wouldn't book my last trip of the season until the NFL schedule came out. And then I would call Rosie, okay, the schedule's out. This is the one I can go. But now I can watch all the games. I can do my fantasy football drafts there on the island during dinner. I mean, everything that over the years, things has just gotten better and better.
Yeah.
The only ask that I have right now, and Rosie's going to hate me for this here, and I'm just going to set this one up. Everyone sees these pictures that Rosie posts about her pizza parties and all this stuff. It's time to teach the ladies on the island this pizza recipe because I want some of that, man.
I tell you, since we moved, and it's been 2.5 years now, and we are very blessed to have a wood-fired pizza oven up at the ranch. And I've dialed in my pizza.
I have to get lessons because we have one too.
I can tell you this is one thing that I know about Rosie, Reggie, is that you said that, and I literally glanced over at Rosie, and she wrote a note down on her page that said pizza. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean that things will or won't or do or don't, but like, Rosie doesn't let anything slide without like storing that in the back. Like, all right, we'll see what I can make happen.
What we can do.
Yeah.
I just want to say really quick that Rosie and I really appreciate Reggie because he's a solid guy.
Yeah,
he knows what he wants out of life, and he's got a group of friends that he fishes with, and anybody that fishes on the Mission Bell is a blood brother to me.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call.
Let's
jump back in the phones, Rick.
You got it, man. Well, the phones are packed up. This time we're going to talk to Ben. He's got us from Chula Vista this morning. Good morning, Ben. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
What's up, Ben?
A couple questions. So everybody flies into the island. Is it a private airport, or are other people allowed to use it? Is there customs there? You just have to stop in Ensenada, then you can use it and pay, or what's the actual, if you have a plane, if you can fly into Cedros yourself?
Yeah, so we are very blessed because Pete Gray about 9 years ago turned us on to using the Cross Border Express down there in Otay Mesa, California, which basically sits right up against the border with a 390-foot sky bridge that goes into the Tijuana International Airport. So all of our customs and immigration could be done there. Because if we were happened to have left at like Brown Field or something, we would have to stop in either Ensenada or San Felipe and, you know, go through customs there. But we don't want to stop. Once we're in the air, you just want to get straight down to the island. So that's, you know, probably the biggest reason that we do use the Cross Border Express is, first of all, the ease to get back and forth across the border, an international airport. We can do our customs and immigration there, and it works out great there to do that. And then, you know, I do all of the, you know, the Mexican fishing license, the cross-border express pass, boarding passes, and all of that. Ben, there was a second part to your question. I may have missed it.
Is it a public runway?
Oh, the runway. Okay, so the runway, believe it or not, is owned by the Mitsubishi Corporation that has the largest salt transport facility in the world on the island because it is a deep port there. They bring the salt in from Guerrero Negro, put it all out to dry, bring in different boats, fill those big barges up with salt, and they go all over the world. So
big business.
Yeah. So ASG Airlines is who we fly with. And they, right now, from what I understand, when I talked to one of the owners this last week and a half, is that they actually have an exclusive right now on that runway that no other commercial airline can actually.
But you could probably work out some kind of private.
You could probably work out some kind of private, but if you do plan on flying there privately, let me double check on that. Let me get with the powers that be, because I don't want you to not be able to land.
But I'll say this about that flight. They fly Cessna Caravans, which are considered to be the workhorse and one of the safest planes in the sky.
Absolutely.
And for 12 passengers, that's all part of the adventure, is that flight.
Totally. Yeah, you'd be missing out if you weren't in that experience.
So and the runway's on the you know, the southern end of the island in El Moro, and you know, we've got some great Cessnas. We have 2 new Cessnas that most Cessnas, the props are 3 blades, and the 2 new ones have 4 blades on it, which a little bit stronger, fly a little faster and get us down there. And if we have a tailwind, we even get down there quicker. So hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours, and you're on the island.
That's cool.
I got a nice text from Kathy, who's Deb's sister. She says, thank you so much for the tribute to Deb. She will always be with us in spirit and on Team No Bananas. And I also got a nice text from Drew, her husband, too, of the same, too. So thank you guys. And glad you were listening. And we're going to all miss her for sure.
Yes,
no doubt.
Definitely.
I had another great text from John in Rancho San Diego. Says, man, what a great show already, you guys. I love hearing from Rosie and Jeff about my favorite place at Cedros. Hey, you two, can I ask, what's your favorite go-to surface iron setup for yellowtail? Also, your favorite jig? I want to know the rod and reel and everything. And then lastly, what's the biggest yellowtail either of you have ever caught?
Well, the biggest one I've caught did not get weighed. So I can tell you the one that I did get weighed was just short of 39 pounds.
Wow.
And
what happened to the one that didn't get weighed?
It got filleted up at the fillet house before I could weigh. I was one of those things when I got off the boat, I had to find a restroom kind of thing, you know, and you know, it was just part of the trip.
They're quick. I mean, they're quick with those knives.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Get it filleted, vacuum packed, and frozen.
They get that stuff off the boat and done.
Speaking of which, that's all part of the price too. Is the fish processing?
Yeah, and you know what, you guys? I mean, you all fish, you all long range fish, or even on your own boats if you use a fish processor. Fish processing is kind of getting up there, and so to have this be a part of the all-inclusive price, I tell you what, it's a great thing because, you know, we have a great facility. Everything is table ready. Everything's vacuum sealed in a commercial grade vacuum sealer, about 1.5 pounds. So it's a good small size pack. It's labeled per species, and it is frozen. The last day I call it maybe a little bit of soft serve, but it gets home and it is just fine. But yeah, that is all included in the price. So,
and do you bring a cooler?
You know what? You can bring a cooler, but I'll be honest with you. I have these soft-sided cooler bags that are very lightweight that do the job. If you have a soft-sided cooler that you want to take down there, but my soft-sided cooler bags are really light, we might be able to get you a few more pounds of fish. You keep your cooler in your car. Once we get the fish back across the border, and you come up to the CBX, it's all in a big bag. We'll take it out of my cooler bag, put it in your cooler, and then I kick you to the curb, and home you go. So
to finish up on the jig stick, I'm really bad with numbers, so I can't tell you exactly the model number, but it's a Seeker 8'3" jig stick. It's rated up to 60 pounds. I throw a Tranx 500 on it with 80-pound Spectra, and I fish a 60-pound 5-foot top shot. My favorite lure is your favorite lure.
Okay, and then for me, and Ricky's gonna say, I didn't believe Rosie when she said it.
I still don't, but I know it's true.
Yeah, I sent you the jig.
I know.
So my jig stick, I have two. I have a Seeker 909 and then a beautiful Seeker Salis 7X, but on my 909, I have a Tranx 500, same line weight that Jeff uses. And I love my Salis 5X.
Yeah.
Which is a giant surface iron.
And I will throw that thing. I will throw it all day.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
That's a big lure, man. It was very impressive. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We're going to have another full hour here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. We're saying bye to Kyle and the fan, but we got a whole lot more with your texts. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live.
You know, whether you're going fishing, diving, or just having fun on the water, there's nothing more worth doing than messing around in boats. So let me ask you, are you ready to upgrade your ride? Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland is your exclusive Western U.S. dealer for Steiger Craft. Created for inshore and offshore waters and laid out with the serious fisherman in mind, Steiger Craft has built a solid reputation for performance and excellent rough water handling. If adventure on the water is what you live for, now's the time to invest in your passion. Call Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland at 510-437-1444. To look at the whole fleet of Steiger Craft online, go to steigercraft.com. Now's the time for a rugged, reliable, and fast Steiger Craft from Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
I believe there is no doubt that the finest sport fishing in the world starts right here in San Diego. This is Captain Frank Lepresti. Our fleet of long-range boats and crew are unmatched, and the Royal Polaris and Shogun are right at the top of the list. Captain Jonathan Yamati and his crew aboard the Royal Polaris are considered to be the finest long-range vessel in the world. From summer bluefin, yellowtail, and wahoo to giant yellowfin tuna, our record is unmatched. The Shogun, under the direction of Captain Rene Monteagudo, has become one of the most popular long-range boats in the fleet. This big, wide, solid riding vessel has gained a reputation for catching fish and treating their customers to an epic vacation on the water. I am so proud of Jonathan, Rene, and the crews on both the Royal Polaris and Shogun, as they have helped me keep the reputation of the premier vessels in the long-range fleet. Come see for yourself. Book a trip on the Royal Polaris or Shogun today. Check RoyalPolarisSportfishing.com or ShogunSportfishing.com, or call Monica or Jen in the office at 619-226-8030.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. Pete Gray here, along with Rock Cod Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma. We have a great show going with Rosie and Jeff from Cedros Sportfishing, talking about the best place on Cedros Island to fish and one of the great destinations in the world to go catch lots of fish and lots of things that pull really hard.
Yeah, if you're into that sort of thing. If you're into wide open calico bass and even more wide open yellowtail and halibut and grouper too, if you're into that, sure.
Things that pull really hard.
We're having a great time again talking about such a great place. And we want to talk to you. If you want to join us this morning in this second hour here on Let's Talk Hookup, it's all about the text. Send in your text through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's the only way that you do it. Again, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number is all we need, because if you win that killer prize, we want to make sure to get it to you. And what a prize we are giving away today. We mentioned it once at the beginning of the show. One lucky caller or texter is going to win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses.
Yeah, those
it's
are
the
nice.
white tip pros with a matte black frame and that top of the line blue mirror 580 glass.
Such a
that
comfortable
is
pair.
a really nice pair. Yeah.
And it's got the pro design with the movable eyepieces, the vented side.
Yep, the nose guard is adjustable. It fits your face. It's just a really nice pair. We're really stoked to get to be a part of that and to get somebody such a nice pair of glasses at the end of the show today. Again, if you want to get you through, it's all about that Let's Talk Hookup app, and send in your text. Make sure you include your contact info. With that said, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It is time for our catch report. We got the man, Captain Mark Wish, our fishdope.com reporter, standing by. Today, that catch report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. You can check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest in customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com and be sure you make your reservation today. We got the man standing by, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky, Pete, Rosie, Jeff. Great show this morning. You guys do such a good job, man. Fun listening to you there.
Thank
and
you so much.
I gotta tell you, it's been another really good week of fishing for the private boat guys here in Southern California. You know, with nice weather and improving conditions and plenty of fish around, made for some stellar trips. So starting along the coast here this week, Santa Monica Bay still cranking out the halibut. Pretty darn good fishing, best we've seen in years actually. 30 to 60 feet down the lower half of the bay has been the better area, and still some on the horseshoe. And inside of that, right out in front of the Pedro Gap out there between the red and green buoy, and there's still a steady trickle of nice ones coming out of that sector. And got to offer a shout out to Alan Sheridan. He's fishing down off the domes there, San Onofre, 43 feet of water, 45-pound halibut yesterday, caught on a live mackerel. A foot-long mackerel is what he had told Danny.
Big bait, big fish.
That's cool, man.
You know, those halibut, I mean, I've been telling guys this for a year. I fish halibut quite a bit there. we caught a lot of really, really nice ones on them big mackerel. They just love them things. So the bass fishing also along the coast here, you know, the water's 66, 67 almost everywhere. I fished local with my friend Mike there. We stayed local, didn't want to deal with the drama at the islands. And we're loading bait at the barge, getting them nice, big, beautiful anchovies from Dana Point. And he said, every bait is a bass. And, man, he was not kidding. 12-pound fluoro and a number 2 hook and a hot anchovy. Man, them bass were snapping. It was really fun.
Hey, Mark, stand by because we're having some issues here with our sound here. So I'm not sure why, but go ahead. Try that again.
Okay, we coming through? Got me now?
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
There we go.
buddy.
Yeah, let's try that. Okay, all right.
So up north there at the Channel Islands, man, it's been really good in the sea bass and halibut, even through all this crummy weather we've had. I backed off a little bit. Maybe the weather was too nice yesterday, but that stuff will be right back up on the bite there. But talking to one of my customers in the store, he fished up there quite a bit, and he was telling me about fishing the flukes the way.
Hey, hang on, Mark. Stand
really
by.
Popular.
Stand by. We're having issues somehow with what's going on here. So we'll figure this out. And so we have a new system. It's always something here, but we'll try and figure this out. So just stand by and we'll see if we can get it figured out. But in the meantime, why don't you read a text?
Yeah, well, we had a great text come through, and let me pull it right back up here. This one, my last one here, was from Joey in Menifee. It says, hey, good morning, guys. My question is, well, first off, I can't wait for my first trip going down with Rosie and Jeff. My question is, do you guys have rooms for 4 people, or do we just do 2 double rooms? Also, can 4 people fish on a ponga? Are there any boats that are big enough to accommodate all of us, or should we just do the 2 and 2? Really looking forward to your guys' thoughts. Also, I'm really ready to burn through all my MC swim baits.
I love that. And Corey is too. Okay, so let's go for the rooms first. At Lodge 1, each room is 2 per room. So if you have a group of 4, you will put you 2 per room. And normally if you're a group, I'll put you in the rooms that are like right next to each other. Now up at Lodge 2, we got a little bit different situation where we have 3 rooms with 2 and 2 rooms with 3. Now, depending on the logistics of that trip and the people that are on it, I can put 2 per room, but our rooms up at Lodge 2 are huge. Last year, I had 2 groups of 4 that all wanted to stay in the same room. And I've got a great crew. They just picked up one of the beds in the room and put it in the other room at the end, room number 5 or 4, and made it 4 per bedroom. Okay. And plenty of space in those really large rooms. You could do that.
That's cool.
And that's at Lodge 2.
And that's at Lodge 2, correct. So, and then as far as pongas go, by the way, Javier got a new ponga delivered yesterday.
Whoa.
And Mario is having a new ponga, I think, delivered on Monday. And so we will now have 4 to 5 pongas that will literally fish 4 people. They're over 30 feet long, so that'll fish 4.
I mean, they will fish like 6, but you just put up to 4 on them.
Yeah.
And that's if a customer requests it, because at our price point, it is 3 per ponga.
Right.
Now, there's many times that we get guys that only want to fish 2 per ponga, and you know what? We can accommodate that also. Yeah. And what I do in that case, because we do lease our pongas, and if I get groups that want to fish 2 per ponga, usually if I have 2 guys, I've got another 2 to 4 guys that want to fish 2 per ponga. I will lease another ponga and I will split the cost of leasing that other ponga between those 6 guys, a couple $100 more, $250 more. And for the 4 full days of fishing or the 3 full days of fishing, depending on if it's a 5-day trip or 6-day trip, the little different logistics, but you can fish 2 per ponga.
I've seen husband and wife teams want to go down. Wife just wanted to, for whatever, just the little privacy on the boat, having the bathroom, whatever. Yeah. Like it was just nice to just have the 2, couple $100, no big deal, boom, done. And you're exactly right. I've never heard of a group where one didn't want to do it and another one's like, hey man, somebody's willing to split half of the cost with you. Do you want to, do you 2 just want to fish on your own for a couple $100? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
With that said though, the pongas are huge. 3 people disappear on a boat like that.
I can tell you with Javier's prior ponga, now that he's got a new one and I can't wait to see it, it had a raised deck bow area
Yeah.
that we have a picture, 4 of us fishing on the bow on that platform throwing iron.
Just on the bow.
Just on the bow.
Yeah. That's not including the rest of the 25 feet left of the boat. Like just the bow, you put 4 people
Now,
on.
granted, it was you paid attention.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy and just not looking at casting, but when you got the rhythm going, I was surprised. It was the pongas down there have definitely gotten better over the years. Not a bad one in the group, actually. I mean, they're all big pongas.
Look at that. 4 on the bow throwing surface
That's
iron.
awesome.
Wow.
That's
Look
great
at that.
shot.
4 of them.
Yeah.
4 on the bow.
Yeah, 4 of us
I
up
took
there.
the pictures.
They must have been biting.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They're always biting.
If I have a second, there was a question that was asked earlier about the funniest fishing or fish that was caught. I can tell you a story about the funniest one about a fish that wasn't caught. And it was a great wide open bite, as it typically is most days down at Cedros. And I got rocked a couple of times, and I failed to retie. So I reached in my tackle box to get a new jig, tied it on, casted it out, and I was getting hammered on the way back in on the retrieve, but I couldn't hook anything. And within about 10 feet of the boat, I saw the yellow come out with my jig in its mouth and shake its head, and the jig came flying out over the top of the boat. Well, I didn't stop to think. I just, reaction cast again, same thing. And I'm scratching my head thinking, what in the world is going on here? And of course, everybody around is yelling and winding on their big fish. And I looked at the jig, and the jig that I grabbed had little tiny.
I figured you were going to say that little hook keepers.
Little hook keepers.
Point savers or whatever.
Yes. And I had no idea they were on there.
All right,
never
I'm going to
saw them.
interrupt you here because I think I figured out.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, let's get
It was
back to
only an issue on the app.
Oh.
It was fine on YouTube and Facebook. But Mark, we still have you?
Yeah, right
Yeah,
here.
okay.
We're ready to go.
So we still have you. So go ahead and continue with your report. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Mark, for hanging.
Okay, so no. So I just listen to you guys talk. It's like, so we were talking about fishing the Channel Islands up north there, and I was telling you, I was talking to one of my customers in the store this week who fishes up there a lot, and he's telling me about fishing some of the big fish, how they're doing it. So there's some really good ones along the kelp lines on the south side of Anacapa, and they're fishing like a Trank 500, 80-pound braid, 60-pound 4 top shot, 5 or 6 feet, and fishing those flukes. And they're seeing the fish, tailing and breezing right up and down the edge of the kelp. But those big ones, you hook them and they're right there on the edge of the kelp. They actually know where that's at.
Yeah.
So that's why they needed that heavy gear to shut them down. And but smaller fish are fishing out on the squid beds, but those big boys right on the edge of the kelp. And then with this good weather now, we're finally going to get some reports from Nick and Santa Barbara Island. There's boats there now. So that's going to be interesting. And over at Catalina, still biting. Last week I had mentioned somebody caught a 56-pounder sea bass.
Wow.
Well, it turns out that's one of my customers that I just set him up with some gear and spoke about some various techniques just a day or two before he got the fish. And they had caught their bait early. They got set up on the bait grounds right at dark, got their bait early. So they're fly lining a squid at 1:30 in the morning with just a light slider, which is a great technique. So they hooked 2 of them big boys, landed 1, the other one got away in the anchor there. And it was nice enough that John brought me a piece, and Chris and I had it for dinner last night.
There you go.
Awesome.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fishdope.com, your source for everything. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space. Hookup Now, your $30 code. And Mark, how do we find you? I'll bet it's at Bolsa Chica and Energy
I
Street.
bet it is.
Yeah, good job. Go on, keep going with that.
Yeah, right behind the big Chevron station, Pete. You forgot that part.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And the phone number is 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I need about another 5 or 10 minutes to keep going over everything else we got. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
My favorite time of year for your reports, Mark. There's always stuff biting up and down the beach, and there's always something new happening. A great job. And, man, congrats again to all those guys for those big halibuts. That's awesome.
Yeah. Great. And we'll talk to you next
crazy.
Saturday, and hopefully the app will work next Saturday.
Thanks,
Or
Mark.
your phone call. Yeah. Still having that issue on the app. So we'll get that figured out with George as soon as we can get a hold of him. I think he's
Good job, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that very much. All right. You have another great text.
I sure thought so. It says, good morning to everybody. I'm getting ready to go down to my first trip with Cedros Sportfishing. Outside of the fishing, I was curious what the wildlife situation was on the island. Like, I know that Catalina has their foxes. Is there any type of wildlife that's native to the island? And also, are there any hiking or exploring opportunities to do after a day of fishing? Or, God forbid, if we got weathered out? That's from Rory in Lakeside.
Yeah, it's very rare that we get weathered out, but not last year, the year before, we had one day where it was just snotty, and the guys wanted something to do. So we set up for the guys to have a tour of the lobster and abalone co-op.
That is so cool.
And the one thing with that, though, is you have to wear long pants and you do have to wear closed-toe shoes. But if you can imagine, they're going in there thinking that they're just going to check everything out. And they did. But the people at the lobster and abalone co-op made them sashimi abalone, made them stuff to eat. And trust me, these guys were like blown away. They're like, can we do this every year? Because it was just so interesting. And then obviously so yummy. That same group, after they had their morning tour, they went up to the top of Cedros, and there's a hiking trail up there. And I think 8 of them ended up hiking, and they said it was a beautiful hike. They said there's a certain point where you get up there and you can see,
how
perfectly on
cool.
both sides. And they said it wasn't a difficult hike by any means, but it was a beautiful hike. And so that was fabulous. As far as wildlife, I got some video sent to me and some pictures. I think it was 2 years ago also. And there's like mule deer or the deer on the island, and they're out swimming in the water.
No way.
Yep.
Cool.
And I think they got chased there maybe by some of the local dogs or something, but they're out swimming in the water and then walking along the beach and then
Was that down by the center of town?
Yes.
Wow. That's so cool.
Wow.
Yes.
I have never been there with anything other than great weather. I've never had an instance where we were weathered out. I've never been there with anything other than like the worst weather we've ever had was like a breezy afternoon, where we caught them great in the morning and then it was breezy in the afternoon. So instead of going to the front side, we went to the back side, or backside to the front side rather.
Right.
But my dad did a trip down there. Exactly. In all the years that we've done a bunch of trips down there, my dad was down there for one day where it was weathered out. It was still his favorite day. Just said it was so cool. They did the same thing. They did they drove through town. I think they went to the salt factory and checked all. It was just it was just one of those things. And I've heard other stories about you guys taking groups doing barbecues on the beach.
Yeah, barbecues on the beach, catching little juvenile white sea bass from the shore. And
it's a
like
very rare thing, but again, just like everything you guys do, like you're the queen of making lemonade out of lemons.
We try.
And,
we try.
I dig it. I don't think that I could give up a day of fishing at my favorite place to go fishing. Like, I don't think I could ever give up a day of calico bass and yellowtail. And I know how dumb this sounds, but like, I'm hoping that one of the years I go down there, like I will be happily forced into a day of going to see the co-op or going on the barbecue or going on a hike. I can't give up one of my fishing days for it. But I know one of these years, if you go enough, it's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to, doing something extraneous like
Jeff,
that.
You went to the other side of the island to a fish camp where.
Yeah, on the west side of the island, there's a couple of places, and we took off with our concierge at the time, Richard, Big Al when he was part of the organization, Adrian, who's still part of the group, and myself. And long story short, we were well prepared for alcohol consumption. We took some fishing gear because we heard white sea bass could be caught from the rocks.
Yeah.
We toured the lobster camp and where they also stack seaweed.
Yeah, that's what I was curious. That, like red fern.
Right.
Right.
It was, but there was nobody there. There was one guy, and because they had shut that place down for the season. But I'll tell you what, the conditions that those people live in over there were very primitive. But these guys work all year long during the season to go and work catching lobster, white sea bass, abalone, urchins, seaweed, right? And it was a hell of an experience.
I'll bet, man.
And we got to meet some really neat people coming back through one of the other fish camps, and I can go on and on. But yeah, great stuff to go look around the island.
I dig
so
it.
much good stuff. You have another good one, huh?
Yeah, I definitely do. Let me run back down to the starred ones. And this one says, good morning, guys. Calico bass fishing is my absolute favorite thing in the world, and I love the idea of going down to Cedros. I'm curious about managing my tackle. Would you say that people spend more time fishing with swim baits, hard baits, or live baits from Calico? Also, Jeff, can you give me an idea on the perfect pack if I want a Calico-focused trip?
Okay. Yeah, more than happy to. So depending on if you're fishing, if you want to fish the plastics, the swim baits, ounce and a half head. I use a 7.5 foot Seeker Blue Lightning with a 400 Tranks with 60 pound on it. And I'll use a 60 pound leader. You can use the smaller swim baits on the outside of the kelp line, drop it, cast it, hit the bottom, start winding it, and you will catch calicos. You can throw stick baits. I've done that before. But my favorite thing is, and Corey got me into this, is if you can get up to the north end of the island on the lee side, the east side, and there's a lighthouse up there. And from that lighthouse, you can see this big carpet of kelp.
Yeah.
And so we basically pull the motor up. We just let the wind blow us through the kelp, surface casting out the big yellow banana slug.
The MC 8-inch slug.
Yes. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I'll tell you what, it was the best day of Calico bass fishing I've ever had.
So cool.
And I'm a believer. So there's any way that you want to fish it like you would up here, but don't be afraid to throw a weedless slug, bright colored on the kelp carpet and be ready to have some fun.
God, how fun is that?
I got another good one here from Sean in Blossom Valley. He says, good morning, everybody. I went to Cedros last year, and it was by far the greatest fishing experience I've ever had. How about that, huh?
Love it.
So easy, so carefree, awesome captains, wide open, 30-pound yellowtail from 6 a.m. to 7:35 limits. I got 7:35 in the morning. I guess from 6 a.m. to 7:30 is limits by 7:35.
Yeah, come on.
I got limits 3 of 4 days and even a 44-pounder on a dropper loop. I highly recommend doing this trip. Rosie's awesome. Cedros Sportfishing is the only place to go to.
And he touched on something really quick that he loves, certain things, how to fish. And we find that to be true also with our captains. So before you go down there, I usually ask, what are you fishing for? What do you like? How aggressive? Are you real aggressive? Or you want to fish calico all day, every day? Because trust me, I got ponca captains that'll fish calico bass with you all day, every day. They love to do that. They love to take you to their favorite spots. I've got, you like Javier. Yeah. Man, he's going to be.
Put a surface iron rod in that man from sun up to sundown.
Oh,
he's got no quit in him.
Yellowtail killer.
Yeah, exactly. I always say that man can see through water, but it's like, we try to pair you up with a ponca captain.
The captains are great. Though.
Yes.
Yeah, they really are. Well, it's like, Chevo this morning or yesterday sent me, but I got it this morning, sent me a picture of that white sea bass. Chevo is my guy to where, okay, you want to go fish calico? You want, halibut now? I know I got my little honey hole for halibut. White sea bass, black. Okay, well, let's go over here then. He knows all the little honey holes for all his little favorite spots and loves to fish all of it.
And cool. Some of those captains were born, raised, and work on that island.
They know
not only do they know it like the back of their hand, but they are salt of the earth people.
And we have captains that used to be divers at the Lobster and Abalone Co-op. So not only do they know what's up here, but they know what's down there. They know the structure.
That's awesome.
They're good.
I love this.
We are blessed. We are very blessed.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome spot.
Well, I had a fun text. Says, hey guys, what a seamless operation. If only Rosie would catch our fish, then we could literally just eat and drink.
She can do that too.
I have 2 trips already scheduled, and I guess I'm just going to have to labor over catching those yellowtail limits. My question, I've not caught a white sea bass yet. Jeff, what do I need to do differently? That's from Ted in San Diego.
Well, I can tell you that I've only caught 1 white sea bass at Cedros, and I'm under the opinion that unless you say you're going to go target them with the captain, it's a byproduct catch. We've had them caught in the kelp fishing calicos, throwing a swim, a weedless swim bait, and catch a 50, 60 pounder, unexpected. So it's, put that dropper loop on, pin on a nice mackerel. Did that last year and in the same spot, dropped it twice, couldn't stop it on a Calico 12 on 80 pound and got just spanked. Reset up the jig or the rig and dropped right back down again. Wash, rinse, repeat, busted off. Like we couldn't catch up to the fish.
Yeah.
So what was it? Who knows? But a dropper loop would probably be your best bet to get that bait down there. I'm not an expert on the habits of white sea bass, but I know they're one of the lazier fish, that they're not out there aggressively chasing bait. They're opportunistic. So try it. If you get one, awesome. If you don't, keep trying.
The only times we've ever caught them really trying, we caught them with a Hamburgacer rig, which is like that, a chrome, or it didn't even need to be chrome, but like a jig of some kind. The most common rig was like a big crocodile with a mackerel then pinned onto it, and the thing shakes around and flashes, and you often just fish in the rod holder, like above the kelp line. We've caught them there that way. We've had another trip where in Augustine Bay, the yellowtail, that particular trip had big balls of squid pushed up to the surface, and we literally scooped scoops of squid, and we just fished. Later in the day, we were fishing squid on a kelp line, and we caught them that way. But Jeff, you nailed it. The problem, I think the reason why I've caught lesser sea bass down there is I love Cedros. I love fishing a surface iron, and I love fishing a swim bait. And I often am fishing live bait lesser. And white sea bass, it's a live bait fish. Will they bite a surface iron? Sure. Will they bite a swim bait? Sure. But really, if you're going to catch them, it's going to be fly line and that live mackerel. Yeah. And it's such good artificial opportunity there that I fish live bait less and therefore probably catch them less than some of the other guys do. So Ted, pin a bait on.
Pin a bait on.
Pin a bait on.
And let me know, and I'll set you up with a captain that will really help target those fish.
And Ted, set me up with a shoulder fillet, would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Danny from Temecula says, "Hi everyone, great show. I've always wanted to go to Cedros, and I was wondering if payment plans are allowed, and how long is the payoff period offered?"
You know what? I love the payment plan because I get more anglers that can go.
Yeah, totally.
You don't need to pay half down. We would appreciate $1,000 deposit, but we work with everybody. We would appreciate it if the trip is paid off 2 months in advance. But I always promise you I'll get your money before you get on the airplane. Okay. So payment plans are great. I have people that every paycheck, they send in a few $100. I've got guys that make a one payment plan. They pay for the whole trip, and it's everything in between. You get with me and I make notes on your account, and we just go from there. So we love y'all.
The one thing I know about Rosie is you're as accommodating as you possibly can be, and you're very detail oriented. Yeah, so like I there's not a ton of people that I would trust that I would know, like, hey, I was, every other paycheck I was throwing a few $100 at, like, but I guarantee Rosie's got every cent accounted for. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
All right. You have another good one.
I thought so. It says
so many good ones.
There's a ton of text.
Through,
this one was
popular people, you two.
This one was all about bonitos. It says, do the boats ever fish Bonitos Island? What are the conditions? What are the opportunities? And what's it like? And how does it differ from Cedros?
Well, and like you said, what are the opportunities to fish there? It's like again, we have to get that right weather window, because you're going to have to get in that ponga, go up the full lee of the island, and then go 17 miles over to Bonitos. I always say, and that takes like about an hour and a half there, hour and a half back, depending on weather conditions. Why go there and give up 3 hours of fishing and travel time when you got it all right at Cedros? Now, if this is a bucket list, and the calicos, I have to admit, there's some great big calicos over there. There's some great big sheephead over there, and you want to have that experience. We will work with our weather window. We'll see what day will work best, and then we will shoot for that day. But now remember, we're going through a lot more fuel over there. So depending on, if you're
maybe a fuel surcharge.
There will be a fuel surcharge.
Yeah.
There will be, because the guys have to.
Fuel's not cheap there either.
Fuel right now is $15 a gallon.
$15 a gallon?
Yes, it is.
What?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And it's a good thing Rosie has such a great relationship down there to make sure we actually get that.
I believe that. Sure.
At $15 a gallon.
At $15 a gallon, happily.
Yeah. You're happy to fork that over.
And to have backup.
Wow. I had no idea, Rosie.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's-
Okay.
yeah.
So yes, there will be a fuel surcharge
Yeah.
if you're running to Benito's.
We're hoping that price obviously comes down, but there's
Sure.
we're on a remote island.
Yeah.
This is not like the U.S. where it just the stuff
It
appears.
happens.
This
And
stuff-
there's things down there that happen in Mexico that somebody controls something and
absolutely.
then they get what they want.
Absolutely. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, we had a van that needed to come across on the barge on the salt transport facility. And you know what? There were some challenges at the salt transport facility. We had to wait 8 days for that van to come
Wow.
across, where normally we don't have to wait that long.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's like, yeah, we run into some challenges, but we do the best we can with what we got.
So John in Upland obviously is an experienced Cedros sport fishing guy. Says, good morning, Rosie and Jeff. John from Upland is, if you fish the second lodge, if you stay at the second lodge, can you request a captain from Lodge 1?
Okay, so I just had that happen yesterday.
Oh, that's a good
so,
question.
So what I do is, a lot of times we have, you guys that go down there and
So wait, let's back up for a second.
Yeah.
Explain the two lodges.
Okay.
Okay.
So Lodge 1 is our original lodge. We've been doing that lodge, I think, for 19 years now. All built on the hillside, beautiful, amazing view. 2 sets of 2 buildings with each have 3 rooms, 2 per room, dining room downstairs, and a beautiful upper patio area overlooking the ocean. Lodge 2 is just up the road a few hundred yards. Again, built right on the cliff's edge. 5 rooms, 3 rooms with 2 people, 2 rooms with 3 anglers in each of them. All have sliding glass doors that go out onto the balcony that overlook, both lodges overlook the lee side of the island. Both independent cooks and kitchens there.
Crew. Each one holds 12.
Each lodge holds 12, and the fish house is between the fillet room is between both of those. Works out very well. And then so the captains, each lodge, like Javier is in charge of Lodge 1. These are his captains. Lalo is in charge of Lodge 2. These are the captains that work at Lodge 2. I had a gentleman that really wants Chevo coming up on a trip. So what I did is, because you guys all request these captains, I looked at Lodge 1 the trip before to see if anyone had requested Chevo. And I look at the trip at Lodge 1 after that trip to see if anyone's requested Chevo. And no one requested him. So I will ask for Chevo to move for that,
That little
4
block.
or 5 day period. And then we'll take a captain from Lodge 2.
So
and
it
put
can
him
happen.
there. So it can happen, and it has happened.
Okay.
Now,
if there's a request,
if there's
it
a
is what it
request,
is.
I have to honor that
Of course,
request.
Yeah.
I honor
I'm surprised that Chevo had a spot open, because he's probably one of the most requested captains that we
Yes.
have. He's just he doesn't speak any English.
Yeah.
But
But
he
he
knows.
catches fish.
Oh God, yes.
I
He
mean,
catches
you hear it on the radio, Chevo, Chevo, Chevo.
Yeah.
La, la, la,
favorite.
la, la, la.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where are they?
Exactly.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming here. More of your phone calls, more of your texts, more of your questions. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube Live. Rock Cod Rick here to tell you about Parker Boats and the guys at West Coast Marine. By now, you all know my boat partner and I bought a new 25 Parker center console from Crew at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. We've known for a long time that a Parker was the boat for us. It's a stout workhorse of a boat built to last and get you home when the seas get rough. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore tuna grounds. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip, and there they are. Parker Boats of all sizes, fishing in the same areas as the sporties. There's a good reason for it: fishability and seaworthiness. West Coast Marine has several new Parkers in stock and ready for delivery. And they have more on the way. Don't get caught without a reliable boat when fishing is this good. Take it from me, if you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see West Coast Marine. Check out the inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
Hey, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano, and you heard it
I was gonna
right
say,
there.
well-
Jeff has.
What more do we
Crank
need to talk about?
400, Crank 500, Talica 12. That's
Yeah.
your
Done.
outfit for
Done.
Cedros, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
Couldn't be better. And that new Talica A. What an amazing little device that is.
Same with the new Tranx 300, man.
Yeah.
Like Shimano is just doing such a great job. Like they built the best reels, whatever that was when Calico and Tranx all those came out 10, 15 years ago. Now they're somehow making them better. This is the first year of seeing the brand new redesigned Tranx 300. The entire body is built out of the same piece. The side plate does not come off. I mean, there's access to the spool, but the side plate is integrated into the frame. It gives it more power. It's got better gearing. It's just everything those guys do. They figure out ways how to make the best reels better.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out at your local Shimano dealer, the Tranx 500.
It's employee pricing, and it's happening
Just what I
now
want.
at your San Diego County Ford dealers. That's right, employee pricing across a full lineup for trucks and SUVs. A lineup featuring California's #1 truck brand and Ford F-Series, America's all-time best-selling SUV and Ford Explorer, the iconic Ford Bronco, and more. No automaker employs more hourly workers or assembles more vehicles here in America than Ford Motor Company. And that's a commitment your San Diego County Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing to you. It's only for a limited time. Exclusions apply. Hurry to your local San Diego County Ford dealer today.
When you're offshore fishing, the right gear makes all the difference, and that includes Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? The Fujinon Staboscope is the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon TechnoStabi TSX 1440 delivers rock-steady vision even in rough waters. Perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they will be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all their in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which one is right for you. The fishing season is here, and you know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars. So get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here with Jeff and Rosie in the house, in the world headquarters, talking Cedros Sportfishing. What a great show this has been.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's head down to the East Cape and talk to our buddy Chris Moyers from Smokies Curing Company and Cantina with the Baja Report. This report sponsored by Summit Gasoline and San Diego Sports Arena. I was there the other day. It's the place to go fill up your car, boat, or truck with the lowest prices on gas and deal for sure. I saw it, compared it. They have the lowest price. Did you know Summit is also the place to get the lowest prices on ice and snacks for your trip? Over 40 snacks available, all just 89 cents. They have them all lined up there. It's super cool. Now you can get burritos and sandwiches for your trip, all made fresh daily. Ice is nearly half the price of other places. $3.99 for 25 pounds. And you get 100 pounds free when you get a 35-gallon fill. Summit Gasoline, free ice for our Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and always the lowest gas prices, and now $6 car wash, too, at the San Diego Sports Arena. Buenos dias, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Pedro, Rick, buenos dias.
Great to hear from you, buddy. We've been missing you. I can't tell you, Chris, how many text messages we get during the week that are always, "Where's Chris? I want to know what's going on at Smokies. We want to know what's happening down there." It's sure good to hear from you, buddy.
Oh, man, good to talk to you guys. And buenos dias to Jeff and Rosie as well. I can't tell you, I love listening to you guys talk about Cedros. That's definitely one of my bucket list trips. I've got to get there, man. And I love hearing about it.
Well, and you know what, really quick, because I know you're down on the East Cape, just to let you know, I have flown people in from Guerrero Negro, so you don't have to come all the way up here. You can actually go to Guerrero Negro, and then I fly you back and forth and through there when the plane comes to get us. So there you go.
We talked about that last time.
We did.
Talked about that last time, Rosie. And yeah, you know, I've got it made in the shade down here. It's great, but I got to get up to Cedros. So anyhow,
there you
had
go.
a great week of fishing, guys. It's a great day today. It's we got a lot of cloud cover. It's overcast. Looks like we're finally going to get some rain. But this last week's been all about the tuna, man. It is incredible. Yellowfin tuna bite. We are getting limits. Every boat's basically getting limits. Yesterday we got a bunch of tuna in the 50 to 60 pound range.
Oh wow!
I mean, it is going off. And I mean, what you got to do is it's basically anywhere between Puna Pescadero to the north and, you know, maybe Los Frailes to the south, 20 to 40 miles out. Go find the porpoise, and it's game on. And everything from sardinas to hoochies, cedar plugs, and even Anival's got some calamari there on the Palma stock. So whatever. I mean, I told you Vaquera caught some on the kite last week. So anyway, it's great fishing. We got a lot of striped marlin out there too. And we even got a handful, we've had several reports of blue marlin landings, which is really early.
Wow, yeah.
So we got in double digits of wahoo. We got a couple yesterday, nice size too, 40 pounders. So not really much Dorado to speak of, but again, well, you know, I'd say several Dorado, but you know, nothing really.
Uh-oh.
All about the. It's going off, guys.
God, I love it. Well, I mean, amazing that's how we're kicking things off with the report, and great to hear about big fish early, and like this is a unseasonably good fishing for how it is. East Cape's always good, but to hear that there's already blue marlin happening and everything else, Chris, sounds like some awesome opportunities to come down and go fishing, and man, I just can't wait to be down there, enjoy the East Cape, and head on over to Smokies and get my favorite shrimp taco in the world.
Shrimp taco and a nice cold Pacifico. I got waiting for you.
Speaking my language,
tonight,
brother.
You're gonna love this, Pedro. Tonight's rib night at Smokies. We're gonna be going off.
It's the classic Rancho Leonero Saturday night rib night, now available at Smokies.
Say what?
During Company and Cantina.
What?
Yes.
Oh yeah, guys.
Do I hear road
and
trip?
By the way, I had to get out of there. early yesterday because I had the fish report today. So I managed to stay out of the briar patch. It nicked me. I got to admit. But the tequila is flowing like leche miel. I'll tell you that.
Chris, sure good to have you back, buddy. I love it. I can picture it right now. Love Smokies. Love having the report, man. Sure great to hear from you.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Talk
Take
to you
care.
next Saturday.
Great.
Appreciate that very much.
Feels like we're whole again. Rosie's talking about Cedros. Chris is talking about the East Cape. Fish are biting. Feels like we're just back to whole, man. I like it very much.
Yeah, for sure.
All
Well,
right.
you have a great text.
I sure do. And let me pull it right back up here. This one, Jeff and Rosie, you talked about your favorite surface iron outfit. Can you give us your favorite calico bass outfit? Rod, reel, jig, and what's the best way to catch a big calico at Cedros?
Calico setup is a Tranx 400. I might have covered this a little bit earlier. It's got 60-pound backing. Use a 60-pound short leader. Fish or swim bait that you like to use. I use MC swim baits. I have great luck, and I have it on the watermelon, Christmas tree, whatever you want to call it, the Viejos, and also the yellow banana slug, the big 8-inch weedless. I love that thing. When I first got him, Corey said, "Here, try this." I looked at him like, oh, this is a fisherman's gimmick, right? This is catching fishermen, not fish. I'll be damned. You know, that thing is a killer.
It really is a
and
killer.
Fish on top of the kelp. So, you know, I've thrown stick baits down there on the edge of the kelp. I've thrown them out there by the lighthouse on the north end of the island and just chuck it out and blind cast and catching 4 or 5 pounders. So it's a great fishery. And when it's going off, it goes off on calicos. I've caught 2 at a time.
Like front hook, back hook on a stick bait kind of thing?
That's and
so
then
cool.
15, 20 fish following behind it.
Wow.
From various sizes. And it's, I don't know, I'm getting goosebumps.
It really is.
I had a customer who was, buying gearing it from a Cedros trip, and he said, "What do you think about the Alabama rig? Do you think they'll bite the Alabama rig down there?" And I just said, "Man, I don't think I would do it." And he looked at me, he's like, "Why?" And I said, not only will it work, like you're gonna burn through your plastic too fast.
Plastics,
like,
You're gonna like 4 at a time.
Exactly.
Like Cedros is classic for, we call it the cloud, where you hook a calico bass and you're winding it back to the boat, and a cloud of fish are following it up, trying to, following the hooked fish, or many times trying to eat the swim bait out of the mouth that's trailing behind it. And it's not uncommon to see 40 or 50 bass come out of a kelp stringer trying to eat the same one. And we were joking, like, you have an Alabama rig down there. Sure, you're probably going to get a quad, but that also means you're going to be going through your baits 4 times as fast.
Can you imagine catching 4 3-pound calicos?
Yes,
at the
I
same
can.
Yeah,
I can imagine it right now.
I'm envisioning
and it
in
feels
my
real
head.
good too.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. And I don't care about burning through them too fast
But
either.
do you see that the teeth of the calicos down there seem to be sharper than they are up on in San Diego?
No, but the reason is you have a great day in San Diego, and you're having to deal with the teeth 20 times. You deal with 20 times in the first hour of fishing down there. You're shredded.
This is true.
But I might add, calico fishing's been really good at Point Loma La Jolla.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to go calico
Things are
fishing
really healthy
locally
right
here
now.
to warm up for Cedros,
Yeah.
get out there right
And
now.
if you love fishing calicos and you're going to use plastics, take some crazy glue.
Smart.
Because you can glue them back together.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we were talking at the beginning of the show about managing your gear and keeping weight down to bring extra home. That's a great call. The other thing too is lead heads. You know, Corey like kind of taught all of us about fishing heavy for calico bass. When I grew up fishing calico with Dad, we fished 12 pounds. Yeah. That was the line you fished for calico bass. If you fish your straight 65-pound Spectra on your Trax 400 and then use a piece of 50 or 60-pound fluorocarbon, it is unbelievable how few lead heads you use. You never lose them to the kelp.
No.
You don't lose them to fish. I mean, you know, in the old days, again, I would take a Plano box full of lead heads. Now I bring like a couple of bags.
Yeah.
I like 1.5 ounces is my favorite size. I bring 1 2-pack of 1 ounces, and I bring 2 2-packs of 1.5 ounces, and that's it. That's all the lead heads for a week long. And I love calico fishing. Like, given the opportunity, I'll spend a high percentage of my time fishing calico bass, and I'll go down there for a week, you know, with 6 lead heads, and
come back
oftentimes have the same one tied on to start
We were
with.
talking about that last night. A little heavier line, be comfortable with a good solid
One
knot.
of the things you need to
Good
think
go.
about too when you're fishing the bass, the difference is you're on a ponga. So if you get stuck, guess what? You get to go drive over and get it. Sometimes you get they're hooked a little bit deeper, but jump on the boat, call Rosie, sign up.
There you go. All right, I have another one here from Jasper, and he's calling us from San Diego. Question for Rosie: wanted to bring my nephew down there who is under 18. Is there any other paperwork or anything I should know about bringing a minor down before I book the trip?
We have lots of minors going down. I think our youngest has been 7, and all the way up.
But this is his nephew, so it's not his son.
Correct. So there's a couple of different things that we do. First of all, he still needs a passport. And then I have to link his passport to you as his guardian or
And you do
caretaker.
that?
I do that.
Okay.
I do that when I file for your FMM visas. The other thing, which is not a bad idea, and you can get like a notarized letter.
Smart.
From the parents, basically saying that
Just a backup.
A backup. And never in the 9, now going on 10 years that I've done this, has there ever been an issue. So, and I know one guy, they were going across the border, and they asked the kid, "Who is this person to you?" And this is my dad.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And it's a very comfortable situation. It's easy and it's safe, because basically we're going through the CBX, we're going right into the airport, and you're taken right to the plane. So that's all comfortable there.
I have a question. He says he's a minor and he's 18.
No, he said under 18.
Oh, under 18.
Under 18.
Okay.
Under 18.
Yeah.
All right.
So I want to address an issue we're having this morning with our app and the phone system. The good news is we have a new sound system for YouTube and Facebook, and it's working flawlessly.
I know, stoked.
and it's digital sound. It's the sound. I think if you're watching YouTube and Facebook right now, it's way improved
best
from what
quality
it has
we've
been.
had
Best
yet.
quality quality.
Nice.
The bad news is on the app, we're having some issues of it coming in and out, but the phone system that we have wasn't connecting. So you couldn't hear Rick, you couldn't, or Chris, you couldn't hear Mark on the app, but you could hear them fine on YouTube and Facebook. We'll work with George after the show to get that fixed for you, Rick, because I'm leaving town tonight.
You're out of here
for 10 days, and I'm not going to leave you with this mess. But we apologize for those of you listening to the app, but we will get it fixed. It's just some kind of glitch in our system here, and we'll fix it.
Yeah, and in the meantime, switch over to YouTube.
So watch
That's
YouTube or
that's
Facebook.
the beauty of
Yeah, or
that's the beauty
Facebook.
of having lots of ways to
Yeah,
consume Let's Talk Hookup,
that's
because there's
the
always
way.
another one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Well, hey, I had a fun text come through. Hi, Pete, Rick, and Rosie and Jeff. My question: this will be my 6th trip to Cedros Paradise. Rosie, please share about the amazing people who work at Cedros Sportfishing who treat your guests as family. And oh my gosh, the food. Can you please talk about that? I can't wait for my trip this year with culinary sheets. That's from Cheer Critchlow.
Cheer. Good old cheer. You know what? The food is good.
The best pasoli ever.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
I love pasoli. So let me just talk about the crew. The crew, the minute you show up, they are your new family, and they treat you like family because they want you to keep on coming back. And everything there is cooked. It's like it's home style. And the pozole is wonderful. And
so
we
good.
do take, we do accommodate some of the diet restrictions too. Like if you're vegetarian, the chili rellenos down there are wonderful. If you don't eat beef or pork, I have someone down there right now that doesn't eat beef or pork. Well, he's having fish or chicken. So the girls are very accommodating, and yeah, they treat you just like family. The food is, the morning, it's always just a nice little breakfast, get you out on the water with the lunch, whether it be a deli sandwich or a machaca burrito or something of the sort. When you come back in the afternoon, you're always going to have a nice little appetizer, whether it be sashimi or ceviche or quesadillas, something to tie you over until dinner comes. First night that you arrive, it's always a traditional carne asada dinner. The tortillas down there are absolutely epic. By the way, they do freeze well. And then throughout the week, it'll be a little something different, whether it's fish tacos or whatever they're going to have down there. The last night is also always a ribeye steak, and this year we've worked very hard to pair that throughout the year with lobster.
So
you will have
during
a
the season,
steak through the whole season.
Wow. Which is like for them September through March.
September 15th starts our lobster season down there, and we made.
So if you go in the fall, not only you have chance for pelagics and great weather, but also
you might
lobster and steak.
Yeah, but we have lobster and steak now from May to October. We purchased it through the Lobster and Abalone Co-op last year, so that everyone can have a steak and lobster dinner
during that period.
No,
during
the whole season.
So you freeze them and
yeah,
and
the
so
whole
you have
season.
steak and lobster.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
And trust me, they freeze well. And they taste just as good 6 months later because we just ate 7 of them the other night.
Yes, very nice.
We
Very
did.
nice. Hey, another one here from Mario in Pasadena. Good morning. And I've had a lot of texts like this.
Yeah.
People want to know about this. Fantastic show. Why is there such a distinction between lodges 1 and 2? Are they separate by a long way? Is it in dining it different in each? Give some clarity between the difference between the two lodges. A lot of questions like that.
There's I don't want to say there's a lot different because we run them both the same way. I would say the only difference with them is the room configurations. Lodge 1, it's been worked on now for 18, 19 years to get it to where it's at. 6 rooms, 2 occupancy per room. But anytime I had 3 people going down there, someone would maybe be left out of a room, or we could move a bed around. But Lodge 2 is, we get, like I said, it's 3 rooms with 2 beds, 2 rooms with 3 beds. The rooms are larger, and the bathrooms are larger up there. They all have sliding glass doors that go out onto a balcony. So if you're like Cheer just called, they're going with the Cal and Eric Sheets this year. It's a very tight knit group. They hang out on that patio, and it's all right there. At Lodge 1, you can move around a little bit more. There's more places. But you know what?
Is it like kind of a personal preference thing, which lodge you like?
Oh, you know what? Everybody has their favorites, Jeff. You've been at both.
I've been at both. I can give you a kind of describing it so you can get a visual. Lodge 1 has a little bit of up and down with elevation changes from the deck. So you walk
step up the deck,
2 steps
one
up,
step
2
down.
step down. You're walking a little bit downhill, getting to the kitchen. No big deal. It's all paved with big pavers. Lodge 2, when it was built, has a large patio, probably 2,000 square foot patio along the back of the lodge. So when you walk out of your room, it's on a flat surface. When you walk into the kitchen, it's a flat surface.
Nice.
A lot of older people, kind of like me after my new knee, maybe can't get up and downstairs all that well. Maybe Lodge 2 is something that's better for you. As far as when the Rosie was describing the food and everything, if you're gonna be in Lodge 1, there's really no need to go to Lodge 2 unless you have a friend. The food's the same service, same everything. But you can go up there and look at it. Nothing stopping you. It's only you can walk up there and it'll probably take you 5 minutes.
So you have people that say we want Lodge 2. We want Lodge 1. We have people that
I do
because they're both beautiful.
Yeah, I have a group, a construction charter that goes down twice a year. I think the shortest guy in that group is probably 6'2", 6'3", up to 6'7".
Some big boys.
Wow. Oh, dang.
Very tall. They're just all tall guys. And Lodge 2 just works better for them. There's more,
I've
more
always
space in the bathroom.
I've always stayed at 1, never had the luxury staying at 2. When I talked to Eric Sheets, he stayed at 2. He said it's his favorite. He said he prefers it. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't think there's a bad choice down there.
Yeah. Yeah. You
All
can't
right.
go really wrong with either lodge. quite
Yeah, for sure.
honestly,
I have
so.
another good one here, and it was from John in Huntington Beach, and we're kind of getting short on time, but it's an important one. So, good morning, Jeff. This is Jeff from Huntington Beach. Rosie, Jeff, Pete, Rock Cod. Went to Cedros a couple years ago, and it was epic. I am retired airline pilot, and I can attest that the charter flight was very safe and comfortable.
Oh, cool.
Thanks to Rosie, my son David and I talked about returning next summer with some of his buddies. Do you have a Let's Talk Hookup sponsored trip planned for next year?
You know what we do? Let's Talk Hookup does 2 trips, usually
right.
end of June, beginning of July, and then end of July, beginning of August, depending on just how the date and the calendar all runs together. And yes.
What about availability of trips this year and next year?
Okay,
Is it
so-
too early to book for next year?
It is a little bit too early, but what I do, you know me, I'm kind of a little bit OCD. I have my 2026 calendar already going.
Okay.
You
So
know,
we'll talk about that.
yeah, call me, get me
yeah.
on the list.
Get on the list.
Because I get on the list and we'll get you in there to where you can make your arrangements.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Facebook, YouTube Live, and on the Let's Talk Hookup app. When we come back, we're going to find out who's winning a brand new pair of Costas.
Power your boat
Me.
with Norsk
Yeah.
Lithium, the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Our batteries deliver unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power, packed with cutting-edge technology like Deep Sleep to eliminate phantom draw. Built with rugged BCI-compliant cases, they're designed to handle the toughest conditions on the water. Stay in control with the Norsk Guardian app. Monitor performance, track battery health, and unlock advanced features right from your phone. Charge with confidence using Evotech onboard and DC-to-DC chargers for fast, efficient, and hassle-free power management. Designed for maximum compatibility, these chargers keep your entire system running at peak performance, so you're always ready for the next trip. With a 10+ 2-year non-prorated warranty, you can trust your batteries to perform for years to come. Our industry-leading warranty ensures you get the most out of your investment. With dedicated customer support if you ever need it. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your custom system at norsklithium.com or visit Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood. Norsk Lithium. No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check powerpro.com.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Cigar Gold Laser Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Okay, it is time to find out who's got themselves a brand new pair of Costas. Rosie's going to do us the honor flipping that prize coin. Okay, today we have a texter. Congratulations, Danny from Temecula. You have got yourself those brand new Costa. What was that? The white tip pros. Congratulations,
this
buddy.
One right here.
Yeah.
Those things look so sweet.
You're stoked, Danny.
Nice. Hey, Rosie, if somebody wants to book a trip, how do we do that, and when do we do that?
Yeah, the best thing really is to give me a call, 619-772-7570, because there's a lot more questions that we can answer going on the phone. And I would always suggest looking over the website really quick at cedrosportfishing.com to see what trips we do have open. But we still have some openings.
This year?
Yeah, I keep
in
on expanding.
both lodges?
Yeah.
So, and you have trips going through October?
Through the end of October.
Through the end of October.
And I can always expand.
Okay, what's
on
the
that.
best time to come?
Whenever you want to go.
Whenever you want to go.
Yes, it's the best time to go.
It's all good. Yeah. So you can get in. There's spots available. What if you wanted to charter the whole lodge?
So Harold Davis just sent me a text message. Remember, I want the whole lodge next year, and that is something that wouldn't be able to do it now. But if you're wanting the whole week next year, you need to let me know, because as I start, forming the schedule and
it's 3-day and 4-day trips, right?
5 and 6 day trips.
5 and 6 day
with
trips.
3 to 4 days
3 to
of
4
fishing
days
with the option of the half day fishing.
Right.
But it's like,
Great.
we're getting
all right.
everyone dialed.
How do we get a hold of you?
619-772-7570.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Rosie. Thanks for being here. Thanks to you, all of you out there. Thanks to Adam for all he does on the Let's Talk Hookup app. He is fantastic, and we appreciate him. And tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup, it'll be Rick and Corey. I'm headed for Christmas Island with the big group there. Carl Schmidt from Fisherman's Landing will be giving away a trip on Fisherman's Landing. That's going to be great. We'll see you tomorrow morning right back here on YouTube, Facebook Live, 97.3 The Fan, and the Let's Talk Hookup app.